With a hint of intoxication in her voice, she revealed, "I was never drawn to you, and my heart wanders to other men." Her words caressed my senses with an unexpected intensity. As she succumbed to slumber, I found clarity in my choice. With the dawn's first light, I slipped away, leaving no trace, no farewell whispers. Allow me to introduce myself. I am James, a gentleman who has long held the conviction that diligence can mend even the most intricate of dilemmas. It is simply the way I was brought up. With your heart devoted and your focus unwavering, the universe conspires to align everything beautifully around you. That perspective profoundly influenced my existence, particularly in the realm of my union. For as long as I can recall, my days have danced in a whirlwind of meetings, deadlines, and tantalizing deals. I dedicated myself fully, rising each morning to embrace the day's challenges with fervor. And by the time I returned home, I felt too weary to do anything more than whisper a tender good night to my wife. Yet, I reassured myself that every moment was undeniably worthwhile. I was crafting a beautiful existence for us, ensuring she would never have to fret about a single thing. In the moments when my duties faded away, she consumed my every thought. How to enchant her heart, how to bestow upon her the life she truly deserves. During my travels for work, I would delight her with exquisite gifts. I would orchestrate enchanting weekend escapes to reclaim the moments we've missed. It was never flawless, yet I believed she grasped the nuances of our connection. Love transcends perfection. It flourishes in the moments we dare to embrace and endeavor. That was the impression I held, at least. In retrospect, I find myself pondering the possibility that I may have misjudged the situation, though in that moment, clarity eluded me. I believed that pouring my efforts into my work was a reflection of my deeper affections. Recently, however, an unsettling air had begun to linger. She scarcely cast a glance in my direction these days. Initially, I chose to overlook it. Our union was still fresh, just 2 years into this enchanting journey together. I thought we were simply embracing the enchanting rhythm of our newlywed existence. In the depths of my heart, a whisper of doubt lingered, yet I found myself unwilling to embrace the truth. I convinced myself that she was merely overwhelmed, fatigued, or perhaps navigating a fleeting moment of uncertainty. I believed that by pouring my heart into my efforts and revealing the depths of my affection, we could rekindle the magic of our past. I was certain that passion and dedication could mend even the most delicate of hearts. It appears I misjudged the situation quite dramatically. Upon sensing the charged atmosphere between us, I resolved to take matters into my own hands. I envisioned an enchanting dinner, a perfect opportunity for us to rekindle our connection. Perhaps I was a touch idealistic, yet I held on to the hope of giving it a chance. I devoted the entire afternoon to meticulous preparations. I prepared her beloved dish, chicken parmesan accompanied by creamy garlic mashed potatoes, a delightful recipe I hadn't revisited since that enchanting first evening we shared. I adorned the table with flickering candles, lowered the lights to a sultry glow, and curated a playlist of tender, lingering melodies that once captured her heart. It was my subtle declaration, a whisper of longing, an elegant gesture to convey that I notice you, I yearn for you, and I am making an effort. As she glided through the door, a look of delightful surprise danced across her features. "Oh my!" she exclaimed, her gaze sweeping the room before settling on the table. For a fleeting moment, I believed I caught a glimpse of something, perhaps a hint of gratitude, delicately veiled in mystery. She pressed her lips softly against my cheek, took a seat, and offered a knowing smile. As we began to dine, the conversation danced effortlessly between us, filled with a delightful ease. She praised the exquisite meal, playfully suggested that I might be the more skilled chef, and for the first time in ages, her laughter rang out with a delightful sincerity. And in that moment, I dared to dream we might rediscover our path. But after her third glass of wine, the evening took a rather unexpected turn. She was inebriated, lost in a haze of intoxicating allure. It began with a whisper, delicate and understated. She reclined in her chair, her demeanor softening, her words flowing with a languid grace. I hadn't given it much thought until she placed her glass down, met my gaze, and whispered, "You're such a charming man. You always ensure I'm well taken care of, and that's precisely why I'm here with you." I found myself momentarily paralyzed. "What do you imply?" I inquired, my voice unwavering, despite the delightful turmoil stirring within me. Her laughter was gentle, laced with a touch of wistful sympathy. "To be honest, I've never quite felt that spark with you. Not in that manner." Her words struck me with an undeniable force, yet she continued to weave her spell. She leaned in, her chin delicately cradled in her hand, as if sharing a tantalizing tale meant only for my ears. "Your kindness and warmth are truly enchanting, yet I find that our paths do not align in the way I desire." Then she began to paint a picture of her ideal, a figure with an edge, exuding a mysterious allure. A soul unafraid to dance on the edge of convention. In every way, a striking contrast to my essence. And then, as if the evening couldn't take a more tantalizing turn, she unveiled her secret. Upon encountering him, the embodiment of my desires, I found myself utterly captivated. One thing led to another, and she let her words linger in the air, but I found no need for her to elaborate. I understood the unspoken words that lingered between us. I remained seated, a fool in rapture, as my wife unveiled revelations that pierced my very soul. My heart raced, a delicious weight pressing upon my chest, yet I maintained an air of serene composure. On the surface, I maintained my poise, yet within, a tempest of emotions surged, breaking free from their confines. This was not a gesture of remorse. It was something far more intriguing. Her words, spoken in a moment of lowered inhibitions, revealed emotions she had long kept hidden. And in that exquisite moment, I understood that raising my voice was entirely unnecessary. I found no reason to engage in conflict. I simply had to allow her to complete her thoughts before determining my next move. As I slipped beneath the sheets that evening, a thrilling certainty washed over me. There was no turning back now. Her words lingered in my mind, a tantalizing echo that stirred something deep within me. How I was not the man she desired, how she chose to remain by my side for my kindness, and how she ultimately sought fulfillment in another's embrace. The sting of betrayal was merely the beginning of a deeper ache. It was the nonchalant manner in which she confessed it. As I lay in the shadows, enveloped by the gentle sound of her soft snores, a sense of calm washed over me, leaving no room for anger. Exclusively clarity. Engaging in conflict with her would yield no transformation. She had unveiled her true self to me, and I found myself captivated by her authenticity. To confront her would merely grant her the pleasure of defending her actions. She was far too exquisite to endure such treatment. She was far too enchanting for such discord. She was not worthy of a final farewell. She was entitled to experience the true essence of life in my absence. As dawn broke, casting a soft glow over the world, I found clarity in my heart and made my choice. I would not be present when she opened her eyes to the dawn. I am not one to act on a whim. When I perform, I do so with exquisite finesse. That morning, I departed the house as I always did, with a graceful air of nonchalance, each step taken with purpose, masking the thrill of secrets that lingered just beneath the surface. This time, I had no intention of returning. The initial call I placed was to my attorney. I instructed him to draft the divorce papers, ensuring that every detail necessary to untangle my life from hers was included. Then, I reached out to my accountant. He was a cunning gentleman, and before long, he began to discreetly unravel the threads of our shared investments, liquidating my shares with an air of calculated charm. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I found myself devoid of funds, yet I reveled in the intoxicating power of having complete dominion over my possessions. Then I reached out to my family. I chose to keep some secrets to myself. I felt compelled to make one thing unmistakably clear. Do not indulge her charms. Please keep my location a secret. Should she reach out, you reveal not a whisper of the truth. I desired for her to fully grasp the gravity of her actions, with no one to soften the impact of her dissent. At last, I entrusted a message to my lawyer to be delivered to her when she inevitably sought me out. She will soon receive the papers that will set her free. None needed, no regrets, only the stark truth of what had slipped through her fingers. Weeks later, the fateful documents arrived, igniting a whirlwind of emotions. Whispers reached my ears from my lawyer, revealing her relentless pursuit, calls, emails, and even an unexpected appearance at his office. I chose to remain silent. She implored him for a revelation. Yet, what words could I utter that she hasn't already sensed in the depths of her heart? Initially, she hesitated to put her name on the documents. She lingered, her steps slow and uncertain. Perhaps she believed there was a way to rekindle the flame we once shared, or maybe the allure, the security I offered was simply too tempting to let go. Yet, upon glimpsing the alluring financial settlement, she succumbed to temptation. I found myself unperturbed when she affixed her signature. In the end, she always placed her own desires above all else. And just like that, the final page was turned. As I stepped away from that union, my thoughts were not consumed by her fate. I longed to escape the web of her deceit, the disregard that cloaked our moments, and the absence of tenderness that left my heart yearning for something more genuine. I decided to grant her the freedom to embrace the life she desires. And for a fleeting moment, it appeared as though she truly did. Initially, she appeared to revel in the allure of her new existence. She found herself unencumbered, unattached, and flourishing in her newfound financial independence, a delightful consequence of the settlement. I had poured my heart and soul into creating something beautiful for us, and she claimed what was rightfully hers when we parted ways. She began to venture out more frequently, immersing herself in her familiar indulgences. Evenings filled with allure, exquisite attire, and, naturally, captivating gentlemen. I heard she playfully remarked on how she finally embraced the life she was meant to lead. Yet, there lies a captivating truth about individuals such as her. They remain blissfully unaware of what lies beyond the present moment. She believed that liberation was the exquisite dance of indulging her desires, unshackled by the weight of repercussions. Life unfolds in mysterious ways. In the end, it finds a way to entwine itself with your very essence. One of those liberating moments enveloped her in an unexpected whirlwind. She found herself with child. I discovered through a shared friend, who simply couldn't help but share the tantalizing whispers of intrigue. It seems that it was an unexpected turn of events. One wouldn't dare to anticipate such a thing. The patriarch? He disappeared the instant she revealed her secret. Silence lingers, devoid of calls or messages, an alluring void. Simply vanished. She found herself navigating the depths of it all in solitude. And the intrigue only deepened from that moment on. The funds from his settlement, perhaps? She consumed it with an effortless allure, as if it were merely a fleeting indulgence. When the baby arrived, she found herself entangled in a web of considerable debt. She was compelled to part with our cherished old house. Her abode at that moment in time. It was the final remnant of the life we once intertwined. Then there were her companions, or rather, the remnants of their once vibrant circle. It seems that individuals like her inevitably draw in a certain type of companion. Superficial, self-centered, and present only during moments of delight. As she began to seek assistance, whether it be for financial support, childcare, or simply a comforting presence, they slipped away, one after the other, like whispers in the night. It seems that even her most enchanting tales have lost their allure, leaving them yearning for something more captivating. She attained what she believed was her heart's desire, liberation. Yet, such exquisite liberty demands a certain sacrifice. She let slip away all that was dear, for she had never truly cherished it to begin with. The undeniable truth? I found it difficult to muster any sympathy for her plight. I wasn't perched in a shadowy corner, delighting in her misfortune, either. I simply found myself indifferent. She was a page I had turned, lingering in the shadows of my memory. Some souls believe they are fleeing from shadows, yet they find themselves racing headlong into an unyielding barrier. It was she, the embodiment of allure and mystery. She dashed forward, and as she collided with that barrier, it became clear that no one remained to embrace her fall. Time had gracefully slipped away. My life had progressed, not with grand gestures or theatrical flair, but with a subtle grace, unfolding gently and with purpose. It may not have been flawless, yet it held a charm that was uniquely my own. Then one fateful day, she discovered me. As I lounged at home, nestled by the window with a captivating book in hand, the sudden chime of the doorbell broke the serene atmosphere. To my surprise, when I swung the door open, there she stood, captivating and enchanting. She appeared unchanged, exuding a certain allure, impeccably composed, and moving with that captivating confidence I once found so enchanting. Her gaze locked onto mine, unwavering and probing, as though she sought to unravel the depths of my response. Encountering her once more ignited nothing within me but a serene, distant indifference. I was utterly captivated by the mystery of how she managed to find me. All I felt was a wave of disillusionment. She lingered for a moment, her gaze fixed upon me, as if seeking my silent consent to break the spell of silence between us. I chose not to offer it. At last, she began to speak, unrestrained and eager, casting aside the need for further validation. Her voice trembled as she whispered. "For years, I have sought you," she began, her voice a tantalizing whisper, trembling with emotion. "I must express my deepest apologies to you. I found myself entangled in a misstep, a most regrettable one, and the weight of it has lingered with me, haunting my every moment since." She lingered, her gaze fixed on me, anticipating my words, yet I remained silent. I reclined against the front door, savoring the sight of her delightful discomfort. "I believed I could possess it all," she continued, her hands quivering as she intertwined her fingers delicately. "I believed I could seek thrill in other places while still holding on to you. Yet, I found myself mistaken. It wasn't until it slipped through my fingers that I truly understood its worth." Her words flowed forth, a tantalizing mix of urgency and allure. She confided in me about the unraveling of her life, the heart-wrenching romances that slipped through her fingers, the burdens of debt, and the aching solitude that enveloped her. She confessed to being in a delicate situation, with a child on the way and no one by her side. She gazed at me, tears cascading down her cheeks, and whispered, "Please, I need you. My longing for you has never waned." I leaned in closer, our gazes intertwining in a captivating embrace. I wished to convey to her that this was not merely a dialogue. It marked the conclusion of a captivating chapter. "Text, you have made your decision," I replied, my tone steady yet resolute. "You never found me alluring, did you? You never found me to be your ideal. So perhaps it's time to seek out your true desire and discover if he yearns for you now." She recoiled, as though my words had caressed her skin with an unexpected intensity. Yet, my journey did not end there. "Your regrets hold no sway over me. Your suffering holds no sway over my heart. That is a weight you must bear alone, my dear, not one I shall take upon myself. Never dare to grace my presence again." I took a step back, gently closed the door, and sauntered away, my mind swirling with unspoken possibilities. Her explanations, apologies, and regrets were of no consequence to me. That chapter of my life had drawn to a close, and there was no allure in revisiting its pages. As I strolled away, my mind lingered on the captivating figure I had transformed into. Parting with her had been a heart-wrenching affair. It had unraveled me in ways I never imagined possible. Yet, it compelled me to reconstruct my very essence. And I find myself in the delicate process of reconstruction. At times, the most exquisite gesture you can offer to one who has wronged you is to gracefully withdraw your presence. At times, The most exquisite gift you can grant yourself is to gracefully turn away, leaving the past shrouded in mystery. In losing her, I discovered the depths of my own soul, and in that revelation, I understood that this was the only resolution I would ever seek. Pray tell, if you found yourself in my position, how would you have navigated the situation? Truly, take a moment to ponder this. After an evening meticulously crafted to rekindle the flames of your marriage, you find yourself in a moment of unexpected revelation. Your wife, the very woman you pledged your heart to, casually confesses between delicate sips of wine that you do not quite fit her ideal. She possessed an audacity that was both charming and infuriating, laughing as she recounted her clandestine encounters with other men while you remained blissfully unaware. What would you choose to do? Would you linger in the shadows, battling for the heart of one who fails to cherish your worth? Or would you turn your back and leave me longing? Allow me to share a lesson I've gleaned through experience, without claiming to dictate what is right or wrong. Should you ever find yourself in a predicament akin to mine, where another reveals their disregard for your feelings or affection, it is essential to cease crafting justifications for their behavior. Do not allow their indifference to tarnish the brilliance of your own value. In matters of the heart, one must recognize that the way others regard you is often a reflection of the boundaries you set. Should they tread upon your heart once, they shall not hesitate to do so again. And with each encounter, the sting deepens. Parting ways is never a simple affair. I understand that all too well. It brings a certain ache to the heart. It's delightfully chaotic. Indeed, the initial moments can feel quite solitary. Yet, one must consider the future with a heart full of dreams. Perhaps you find yourself apprehensive about the unfolding of events that follow, fearful of embarking on a new beginning, of solitude's embrace. However, allow me to share a secret. Solitude can be far more enchanting than the company of someone who leaves you feeling inadequate. And when you finally turn your back on someone who fails to recognize the opportunity you offered for something more exquisite, even if that exquisite thing is merely discovering tranquility within your own soul. Thank you for indulging in this experience.